All right, y'all, I'm back with another repair on the Cayenne. Today, I'm going to be trying to tackle this thermostat replacement. He goes right down there behind the water pump. I keep getting a coolant temperature gauge defective or display defective, whatever. So my engine coolant temperature gauge drops to 0 and it flashes. There's a red light that flashes, and the fans come on high, and it just acts like, you know, it's trying to keep the car cool. There are 2 codes. Those codes are P2181, P3081. They both have to do with coolant performance and thermostat. So I'm gonna get down there, change out that thermostat. Does not look very difficult. Gonna use a vacuum fill. So yeah, what I've already started was I removed the belly pan here. Let's see here. So that exposes the underside here. I know it's going to be hard to see, but yeah. So I'm going to start taking apart these plastics here around the inside, take off the hoses here, the intake, and then see if I can get to that water pump, pull the water pump pulley off, and yeah, should be okay after that. I just figured I would film myself taking apart the engine covers just so we can access things and see much more clearly. I filmed it at 2x speed so that it wouldn't take up a lot of time, and all right, so what I did was I just pulled these 2 out. This is very confusing to me what this actually does. I thought it was a screw. It's not. It's just kind of a dowel. Oh, there are recesses on the side. Okay, so we'll just kind of hold it on there. That's pretty cool. But anyway, instead of taking these off of the mounts and unbolting it from down there, I just took the hose clamps off, and then I just stuck a screwdriver and pried the hose off. And then I disconnected this side, this hose from here. I just squeezed and pulled it down. Oh. And yeah, I can put it off to the side. I don't have to fully remove it. It just has to be off to the side because I'm just working. All right, so got the belt off, as you can see. There's the tensioner right down there. Oh my goodness, it won't focus. Hold on. Come on. Right below that belt here. Oh, this is hard to do. There's so many hoses in here. Let's see what angle I can get this at. So this guy right here, I'm wiggling my finger. There's flat spots. You just put I put an adjustable, my snap-on adjustable. It looks like it was, yeah, set at 30. So yeah, that's the size. So yeah. All right, remove the intercooler piping so that I can get to the lower radiator hose. It's right down there. There's a spring clip there that I'm just gonna pull up on with one of my hook tools and pull that hose off and let the coolant dump into my bucket down there, and yeah, should be good. Just real quick, see if I can zoom in. So right there on top, you should see the spring clip. I can't get the focus. Right there, you should see it raised. All you do is stick something down there, pull it up, and now I should be able to just slide that piece back towards the car, and out should come all the coolant. Okay, so as you can see, got the lower radiator hose off, made a nice big mess. One does not simply remove coolant pipes or hoses without making a massive mess. That's fine, no big deal. Mistakes were made. I needed to leave the belt on so I could get these bolts out of the water pump pulley. So, got my wrench, put it back on. Tension is really nice, actually. The way that this loosens and tightens is really cool. Makes it very easy. Changing this belt would take 0 time. Very cool for the Porsche engineers. So yeah, I gotta get that last random bolt. Obviously somebody was in here at some point and lost the other bolt, but yeah, I'm gonna get that last one off, and then we should be able to get to the water pump. I think there are only 5. Okay. So I want 5 of them loose. Let's see if they're finger loose. Nope. beautiful Saturday, man. I'm telling you, it's about 80 degrees here, beginning of March, Austin, Texas. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. That's very loose. I think that should be pretty loose too. Trying to get this done before I go to this event tonight to watch some UFC. Here's a water pump. Okay. So now that that's out, in there in the darkness is the thermostat. So what I'm gonna have to do with that guy is tie some kind of strap around those plastic pieces there. Let me see. So I'm gonna have to tie some straps, loop them through here, so I can pull it out. So let's see. All right, so I found out that I had to pull the throttle body off because there is a small sensor for the thermostat is stuck down there. That is that brown and pink wire and the blue with the red stripe wire go down into the thermostat there, and the throttle body was blocking it, so I had to pull that guy off. But now I'm going to unplug that. That's it. There's the plug for the thermostat sensor. Oh, look at that. Well, that worked. So I popped it forward using my pry bar right here on the back side of the sensor mount, pushed it forward, and then I just grabbed my 45-degree angle pliers and just pulled, and the thing came out. So this is the old thermostat. Don't worry about that, I just broke that off when I was trying to pry it out. But here's the back side of it. Looks kind of corroded, huh? Here's the new one. It's plastic in the rear. It's interesting, they changed the design, or this guy deteriorated. So, oh yeah, wow, look at the O-ring. Oh man, I gotta show y'all this. So you can see on the inside of the old one, the O-ring's like, or whatever the heck that is all blown out inside. Let me get the light. So I don't know. Yeah, you can see there all the way down in the back. That O-ring is all blown out. That is probably my problem. As you can see on the new one, no issues. Old one, that's all damaged in there. So, time to get back to this. Put the new one in and then get this thing back together. So, the new thermostat's in there. Takes a little bit of force to get it in. I just used both of my thumbs like this and just pressed into it with my body weight. And it popped right in. Okay, the plug is plugged back in. I'm gonna clean up this area a little bit. Get some of that crud out of there. Somebody maybe put a water pump in and then used some gray sealant on the O-ring. So I don't believe in double gasketing. I believe it can cause problems. So I pulled the O-ring out of the water pump and cleaned up the whole water pump, got all of that sealant out of there, you know, scraped it, sanded it a little bit to get all the stuff off, and put the O-ring back in. The O-ring is still sitting above the surface of the water pump, so that means when it contacts the block there, it will still seal. So I don't see a problem with it leaking. The impeller moves perfectly fine and free, no binding or anything. The impeller itself, or the fins on the inside, are all there. I mean, it's, you know, it's still in great shape. So gonna reuse it. And yeah, I'm just putting these bolts back in so I can start putting everything back together. All right, so I torqued down the water pump. I started here at the top, then I went down to the lower left, then I went over to the upper right, then I went over to the farthest left, upper left, and then I went to the bottom right. I did that twice, 6 to 10 foot-pounds. So yeah, that's how I tightened it up, and that should be good. Now I'm gonna get the pulley back on and the belt. Then I'm gonna put the throttle body back on and then start plugging everything back in. All right, water pump pulley's on, serpentine belt's on. Time for the throttle body. All right, everything's back together. I cleaned it up a little bit, the hose placement and all that, tried to make it a little bit better, a little bit neater. But now I'm going to hook up my vacuum filler and yeah, fill the system. All right. Since I'm getting tired, I didn't really film me vacuum filling the coolant, but it's all vacuum filled. That's an easy process. You can look that up anywhere. Yeah. Looking down here, checking for leaks. Don't see any. I can tell it's heating up. Looking down below with that lower radiator hose I took off. I don't see any leaks. Going under. Looking at the ground. I don't see any leaks here. Let's go look at the engine temp. Let's check. Check the exhaust real quick. Smells fine. Check the dash. I put the heat on high. Heat's coming up. I'm gonna turn the heat off because it's way too hot outside for this stuff. Okay. 150 degrees. It's my temperature right now. It's been running for, I don't know, maybe 6 minutes, 7 minutes idle. Okay. I'm gonna have to. So there was an issue with overheating after I did the initial vacuum and fill. When I was at the car wash, the vehicle started to overheat. I heard the fans come on full blast. Looked inside, 250 plus degrees on the engine coolant temp. Drove the vehicle home. The next day, I decided to, kind of check for leaks and see if there was anything. I did see remnants of coolant leaking down the passenger side, kind of on the under tray, and dripping down about midpoint of the passenger door. And, so I investigated that area, tried to figure out what was over there, what could be leaking. And I came to the conclusion that it's just the overflow from the expansion tank. Obviously, vehicle overheats, pushes coolant back into the expansion tank, and it, was too much, so it purged the extra coolant out. So that's what I saw. So that was good. I checked all my connections, all the work that I did the previous day. Everything looked good. So I emptied all the coolant out again, mixed up some more 50-50 distilled water and Xerox G40. And then I vacuumed down the system and saw that the adapter that I used for the expansion tank was actually the wrong size. I was using a 40mm adapter to get the vacuum tool into the expansion tank, and when I tightened the tool up so that it would expand into the adapter, the whole tool started moving up like it wanted to come out. And I was like, okay, so that's where the air bubble came from. It was probably sucking some air in from the outside while I was filling. So I went down one size to a 35mm adapter, was able to put the tool in, tightened it up. It stayed in. I did this while having the check valve opened at the expansion tank. There's just a silver loop that you have to pull up, and it opens up a check valve. Filled it up, 0 leaks. Held 25 inches of mercury for 5 minutes. Filled the vehicle back up with the 50-50 solution. Put the vehicle back down on the ground. Took it for a ride for about 10 minutes. and the temperature stayed at 201 degrees the entire time. So I'll say that it is a good repair and it's good to go. The next repair will be my shock mount and O-ring for the passenger passenger front airbag. So that'll be here on Thursday. And then after that, it'll just be hopefully driving videos, having some fun with it. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.